My report is about governance, public administration, and challenges of globalization. Let us go to the definition of governance. Governance is being used as a proxy term for public administration. There are several definitions of the term governance. It includes all processes and individuals in the execution and operations in the implementation of a policy. It refers to the strategies of governments and non-governmental organizations aimed at initiating, facilitating, and mediating network processes, that is, network management, which is defined as meta-governance. It is a way to explore the workings of policy communities and networks. It is also defined as self-organizing inter-organizational networks and suggests that governments should enable networks like public-private partnerships or PPPs. Governance is viewed as a more widely encompassing concept. International organizations have been emphasizing good governance to improve the quality of life. It means openness, transparency, and the control of corruption. Governance covers all aspects of the society: economic, corporate, public, etc. In the modern times, there are multitude of actors who have an impact on policy. These actors can be local, national, or international in nature. So the traditional reliance on the agencies and the bureaucrat may no longer be adequate in terms of executing the policies. Therefore, the term governance is better to understand the nature of the present-day public administration. It repositions public administration as a preeminent discipline based on new global realities. Let us now go to globalization. Globalization is the creation of a single global economy and community. It means the revolutionary changes information and communication technology that has transformed the world's political and economic landscape. It represents increasing communication technologies, the travel of people around the globe, and the use of a common language. It implies widespread sharing of knowledge, communication, common cultural habits, and the adoption of English as a global common language. There are three major dimensions of globalization. What are these? First is the economic globalization. It refers to the increasing flow of trade, goods, and services among nations. Example is the increasing levels of foreign direct investment. It is a business decision to acquire a substantial stake in a foreign business or to buy it outright to expand operations to a new region. The term is usually not used to describe a stock investment in a foreign company alone. FDI is a key element in international economic integration because it creates stable and long-lasting links between economies. Also, another example is the rise of multinational corporations or the movement of manufacturing industries to developing nations. Also is the growth of financial hub cities in developed nations. While we usually refer to modern examples of economic globalization, as it is more extreme than ever, the globalization of our economies has been going on for centuries. An example of this is the rise of the tea trade from India to England, facilitated by the East India Company that was founded in 1600. Internationally mobile labor forces. Those with in-demand skills can find work across the world before even stepping on an airplane and travel internationally for 12 to 36-month stints to conduct work overseas. Also, another example is the rise of hub cities. One consequence of this is that there are now hub cities around the world focused on particular industries. London is known as a finance hub, Los Angeles for technology, and Seattle for aviation. Another is worldwide booms and busts. A globalized economy means that each economy around the world is dependent on the success of others. Thus, a recession in one nation may have a flow-on effect and cause a recession in others. The Great Depression and the global financial crisis are two examples where economic problems is one part of the world, such as the United States can lead to economic woes all around the world. Number two, the political globalization. It means increasing interactions between countries in their common interests, regional and international cooperation in various activities. Example is the rise of international bodies like the WMF and the WTO. The rise of free trade. The rise of multinational agreements to develop shared norms. The emergence of the concept of the global citizen. Aspects of political globalization has been around in some form or another for a long time, like the complex political relationships in the Roman Empire. But generally, when talking about political globalization, we're referring to the increasing political integration of nation states since the World War II. And the last is social globalization, which refers to the emergence of a common culture and a decrease in the difference of people. They have now common interests or love for things or activities. In today's world, the internet, the social media is the heart of this. Good examples of social globalization could include internationally popular films, books, and TV series, like the Netflix. Massive personal communication across the globe through social media. We do things online. Personal communication, shopping like with Lazada, Zalora, Shopee, banking, job hunting, courtship, dating, entertainment, education like what we are having now. What are the known effects of globalization? Number one, the end of Cold War and the spread of democracy. Number two, open up opportunities for the public to voice their concerns in the affairs of government and has promoted greater openness and accountability. Through social media, globalization has given people an avenue to express their opinion without being regulated by the government. The rise of global society has been instrumental in bringing the issues of global concern to the forefront of media coverage. Number three, the internalization of media, making people aware of the global situation. Number four, globalization has facilitated greater openness and transparency of the affairs of the government. Number five, there is intense competition among the countries of the world to attain edge in the international marketplace. Number six, there is high demand to create opportunities for innovation and facilitate changes. Number seven, development of information and communication technology because of globalization has brought the world closer and have made distances irrelevant. Number eight, it allowed easy movement of capital, which has allowed investors to invest and transfer anywhere in the world. There is expansion of trade and barriers were minimized. Number nine, globalization has enabled development of alternative ways of delivering various services. Number 10, there is global trade and financial stability through IMF, World Bank, and World Trade Organization. Number 11, more data is accessible because globalization has broken barriers in terms of language. The readily available data have created opportunities for comparison. What are the challenges of globalization? Globalization is criticized as an attack on the legitimacy, sovereignty, and capabilities of a government. It has been observed that the rich and famous transfer their capitals to avoid paying their taxes. The access to cheap labor caused economic recession and has devastating effect on the developing countries. Outsourcing has caused unemployment. That there is rampant problem on income inequalities. For bigger profit, there is high demand for cheap labor, which are mostly children and women. There had been added responsibility to protect the vulnerable population from exploitation and that they receive levels of pay or decent wages, ensure safety and health of workers, regulation of labor laws. Next is the increasing investments of multinationals and transnationals has led to a dominance of these companies and avail resources of developing countries and take advantage of it. This has become a challenge because of the balancing act the public administrators has to do. Next is the increased trade and associated economic activities have caused environmental degradation. Thus, there is a growing pressure to regulate the government. Another, it has caused several social problems like human trafficking, drug trafficking, arms proliferation, transmissible diseases, prostitution, and terrorism. The spread of international criminal gangs have become powerful in poor developing countries, threatening political and economic stability. Thus, the government are burdened to control and solve the complex problems. In addition to those mentioned are the following. The elimination of many traditional jobs has increased job insecurity. Many technical jobs do not match the job seekers. Also, health problems rise as social globalization reflected by common food and the world's love for fast food caused obesity and other health-related concerns. Globalism has led to spatially extensive networks of interdependence. Either sensitivity, meaning changes in one country affect other countries, or vulnerability, meaning costs suffered by a country by the action of another country. This became an issue to some that it is a ploy to dominate developing countries. Also, cultural imperialism or destruction of traditional culture and values. Increased immigration to Western countries caused reverse cultural penetration. Public administrators do not have the freedom to exercise discretion on financial decisions cause of dependence to the international financial institutions. Next is the demand for the establishment of global value chain added pressure, leading to governance gaps, thus insufficient support for the public interest. Also, the management of public enterprises and government corporations became complicated. Competition with private companies brought privatization of these public enterprises because they do not have enough resources and just solicited corruption. And last is maintaining the public-private partnership. Partnerships between government and organizations in other sectors of the economy are used as opportunities to take advantage of the financial, human, and technological resources. It requires shared decision. That's the end of my topic. Thank you for listening.